Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. Napoli go back to the top of the Serie A table. They win 1-0 against Spezia, a team that we have not beaten at home in a long time. And it was looking that way up until the 88th, 89th minute when Giacomo Raspadori makes Napoli get the 3 points with his goal, his first goal for the club. The three changes that Spalletti made were instrumental in that goal. Lobotka to Lozano. Lozano crosses the ball. Gaetano misses the ball. And obviously then the starter Raspadori scores. But it all starts with Lobotka and Lozano, and I would say even Gaetano missing that shot also contributes. It's not maybe his intention, but I think he touches the ball, and I think that counts as an assist rather than for Lozano, even though I think that we'll give it to Lozano between me and you. But it was good that in the end Raspadori stayed on the field, because he wasn't having the most amazing of games. He was quite absent in the first half. He was starting to miss a few chances in the second half. He sliced the ball with his left foot, skied one over with his right foot, and it would have been easy for a lot of coaches to take him off, and no one would have said anything about it. Everybody would have been like, yeah, fair enough, take Raspadori off. Instead, Spalletti keeps him on. Keeps him on because he knows that Raspadori needs these kind of chances where the game's getting a little messy. People are focusing maybe on the big number 9 that finally came on, such as Simeone, and maybe that will then give him that space to run into and score a goal when nobody is around him. And we'll get to see that in the analysis of the video. I would just like to say thank you to Mike Ekstad, once again contributing to this channel with another $2 donation. Says, Forza Napoli sempre, no chat today for me today. Sufus Koba says, my heart, I was dying. Hopefully this goal gets Raspa the needed confidence and then he will perform. Lewis C says, a win is a win. Exactly. Last season this game would have been a draw or even a loss. Tell you what, also 2 seasons ago, because this game actually, we did lose it last season in very similar circumstances. I was there. We were attacking, maybe even more than we did today, but we scored an own goal. And we were literally about to do something similar today. Well, not maybe an own goal, but Mairo Rui and Meret were about to, destroy what was a really good game. And thankfully, Rahmani this time was there to pick up the pieces and save off the line. And we'll see that in the review. Tom Cowley says, not the most inspiring, but 3 points, a clean sheet, and we move on to the next. Exactly, guys. We will have plenty of games where we will score 3 or 4 goals, but what wins you titles, what gets you into Champions League football, to not speak about the title so early, is actually getting a win when you probably, were heading towards a draw. That was something that Napoli failed to do on several occasions. We started, I think, converting some wins into draws starting last season. Last season, overall, we had a decent campaign. And I think now, we've got the foundations. And we showed last season that we can win games in the final minutes, like the one against Lazio, for example. So, if we can keep doing this, if we can make this a thing where we win games in the final minutes and we keep trying until the very end, then we've got a very good setup for this season. Payment Edgar, thank you so much for another one of your £4.49 donations. I appreciate it. Lozano needs to be kicked out. He has cost us 76 million from his transfer and wages. Send him to hell. Never can change anything. I hate that guy. The cross came from Lozano. Yes, he did miss 2 other very, very clear chances, but the cross did come from Lozano. And technically speaking, if Politano had been playing on that side, Politano would not have gone down the flank and crossed it. He would have probably cut inside on his left foot. I'm not saying we wouldn't have scored, but it would have just been different. And it goes back to what I say in other videos. They offer something completely different. Politano likes to cut inside. Lozano likes to go down the wing. I think they both need to improve, to be honest, and I think they are both not at the level of Napoli most times. I mean, the level that Napoli should be at is what we have on the left with Kvara. No one can say anything about his level. But with Politano and Lozano, it's, one game you're praising them, the other game they've got to improve something. We need consistency on that right wing. Yeah, I mean, today I wouldn't go so hard on Lozano because I think I've seen worse. Today it was good. I mean, I gave him a passing score. Yeah, but hey, maybe I'm just happy. Maybe I'm just happy with the fact that he contributed to the goal. FK Asia Yes, I think that's your name. Says, seems you guys need to put better names. You guys gotta make nicer names for me to read. Seems Spalletti is still trying to get familiar with his team and the formation and chemistry. There are selections that he won't repeat them like today. Yeah, I do agree. For sure, I think this team is still so new, and Spalletti is getting to know them, but the players are starting to get to know themselves as well. And it's important that we just get a win, guys, because when you change so many players, it's not something that we have to we can't take it for granted. So the fact that we got a win is huge, and the chemistry will come. Arsene Lupin says, I hate these anti-football teams. Don't forget that with Lozano, with Gattuso was a game changer. Yeah, about the anti-football team, you're 100% right, Arsene. I mean, Spezia were time wasting all over the field. I mean, the fact that they had a guy have cramps, or he pretended to have cramps 2 meters away from the touchline, was absurd. I mean, if you need to stop the game because you have cramps, or if you need to take a break from the game because you have cramps and you're 2 meters away from the touchline, just go on the other side and get the medical support you need without interrupting the game. But no, you obviously do it that way so that you interrupt the game. So it's a very anti-football way to see things. Payment that goes saying, but Dom, 76 million. We need to expect more. Of course, Lozano is better than Zerbin. Yeah, okay. You are right. For the amount of money that Lozano has cost us, you do expect him to not miss easy chances. You do expect him to be a game changer and not just, one thing good, one thing bad, one thing good, one thing bad. You're right about that. I mean, maybe we can expect that a bit more from Politano, because Politano cost us literally half the price of Lozano, both in terms of wages and in terms of transfer fees. So you're right. Elmas is such a diamond on the bench, as Garrett reviews. Elmas, I love one of the tweets that I saw today on the timeline on Twitter. It was just like, it's been 3 seasons and I don't know whether Elmas is a number 8, 10 or a winger. And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I've watched every one of his games. I really couldn't say. If someone tells me what's his position, I can't tell you. I know he's good. I know he's got skill. I know he's got some good movements. But it's very hard. M. Quadro is saying, ciao from Napoli. Raspadori did some wrong choice, but anyway, did a goal for the win. Yeah, Raspadori did some wrong choices. He also was... his shooting wasn't so good, so it's not about the choice, but it's about the execution that was wrong. But he stayed in the game mentally. He didn't miss chances and then collapse, like a lot of players do. Actually, he took the responsibility in the 89th minute to get inside the box and score a goal. And this is something that I'm seeing this team do over and over again, guys. So, yeah. Dhruv is in the house. Go on, my man. You're doing a great job. Awesome. I love that. Hey, Dhruv. See you soon. Guys, I wanna bring up some stats, because we talk a lot about Ndombele and Lobotka. And this is the first half. Napoli had 251 total passes, of which Ndombele, who's supposed to be the engine of our midfield, only did 18. and 0 key passes. That's not enough. At halftime, Spalletti replaces him with Lobotka, and this is what Lobotka does in the next 45 minutes. 42 passes, 100% pass accuracy, and 1 key pass. Obviously, the key pass, I think, actually should be more than that. And we'll see it in the analysis when I go through the game with you guys, that he actually had so many more key passes, but who scored is not picking up on them. And he changed the game. And it's actually kind of funny how I was getting into these debates on Twitter about, whether Lobotka is better than Ndombele or not. And it's a ridiculous debate, because it's very clear from the second half that Lobotka changed the game and definitely increased our chances. Fabrizio Landria saying, very difficult match against a good Spezia defense. Now we have to recover our health. Ciao Fabrizio. Yeah, very difficult against Spezia, as always. All right, so let's go into a little detail about Ndombele and why maybe he wasn't enough. So I think he's still physically not in shape. So I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying he's physically just not in shape. You can see here he's desperately trying to run back, and it's only the 3.5 minute, and he's not got the pace to cover for us, right? And that puts our defense in a bit of a risk, right? Fast forward a minute later, guys, 4.5 minutes in, Ndombele, what is this position that he has? He's far away from all 3 Spezia midfielders, and he's really not supporting that much. He's allowing the Spezia guy with the ball way too much freedom to attack our defense and basically pick out a pass, all right? Which is something that when Lobotka is on the field does not happen. One thing that I really liked in the first half, though, was Kvara. Kvara, this was one of the times when he had 2 nutmegs and then a good shot, which was saved. And I liked Elmas, the fact that he made some intelligent runs off the ball. So, for example, in this case, right, he starts from the midfield, runs all the way forward towards where the number 9 is, Raspadori. That frees up Kvara on the left, because the defender, the right back for Spezia, now needs to cover the run that Elmas is making, and it leaves Kvaratskhelia free on the left. That's a lot of room for Kvaratskhelia to receive the ball, control it, and then the defender will manage to reach him. But by then, Kvara's already got the ball down, he's already got speed, and so it's easier for Kvara to get past the player at that point. And Kvara, he was all over the field. This was one of the shots he had, and a great save by Dragowski. I think Dragowski had an excellent game and probably was the man of the match today, even though he played for Spezia and Spezia lost, but he had some incredible saves, Dragowski. This is what I'm talking about as well with Ndombele, right? So I think the position that he has here is just not good enough. If Rahmani does pass the ball to Ndombele, it doesn't actually change any geometries, right? Just imagine the ball goes to Ndombele right here. What can Ndombele do from that position that Rahmani already cannot do from his? Very little. Actually, I would say Rahmani has a better position than Ndombele, because he has potentially Anguissa, which is easier to pass the ball to, and also Di Lorenzo. Whereas I feel like as soon as Ndombele would receive the ball here, he'd get pressed very quickly, and he would have absolutely nowhere to pass the ball to. Fast forward a few minutes later, again, he's in the wrong position. He's hiding now this time. He's in an ideal spot here where he's behind the midfielder, so that means he can kind of go anywhere, right? He can go to one side where I put the arrow, he can go the other side, and if he takes 3 steps left or 3 steps to the right, he'd be in a much better position than what he's currently in now. Because right now he can't even receive the ball. If he goes slightly to the left, actually, he's got a lot of space where he can run into. If he goes to the right where I put the arrow, I think then he's got a chance to play the ball forward to maybe Politano, or maybe go on himself. but instead he hides. So I really just cannot understand what Ndombele is doing on the field, because he is slow, he doesn't cover, he is not making himself available for passes, and when he does make passes, we haven't yet seen a key pass from Ndombele. All right. So I mean, I don't want to go too hard on him, because I know that physically he's not quite there yet, right? And maybe that those things will change when he's a bit more fit. But right now he's got a lot of work to do, guys. Like a lot. So yeah, that's my analysis of Ndombele. Maybe I'm being a bit critical, but you guys have to also realize that Ndombele is. We've got a lot of expectations out of him. All right. So yeah. Guys, make sure, by the way, if you are liking the show, if you are enjoying yourself, to smash that like button. You basically have to do that. You basically have to minimize whatever window you're on by clicking like down here. Should be some little thing down here. Minimizes your window. Then you gotta smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If for some reason you're not yet subscribed, I mean, literally, I feel like everybody here is subscribed. And it's going to make you feel better about yourself, and you're going to have a better weekend if you do. Adam Miller says Kvara showed up again. Yeah, Kvara was incredible today. I'm just going to read some of the comments before we go on with the analysis. Aaron M says, honestly, I thought we played well today, just the finishing was missing. Yeah, I mean, I thought a bit more than that. I think we were a bit slow in midfield in the first half, and then the finishing was missing. And this initial part of the analysis covers the fact that we were slow in the midfield in the first half. Payman says, guys, please press the like button. Yeah. I love how people in the chat are also like, yo, guys, come on, let's do this. Tom Cowley says, Ndombele was slated at Tottenham for being lazy. I thought he may show more for Napoli, but it looks like it's the way he plays, says Tom. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's lazy, to be honest, because there's moments where he does sprint. There's moments where he does, put in a tackle. I just feel like his fitness doesn't allow him to be productive. But whether he is lazy, because lazy is more of a mental thing, whether he is actually lazy, I'm not sure. Only he knows if he's got more in the tank, if he can give more, or whether he is being lazy. But from what I can see, I'll just for now state that he is not fit. That excuse, I can only really keep it up for maybe another 2 weeks. After that, the guy really needs to show what he can offer, right? Because we can't just keep saying he's unfit for the next 5 months. Lobotka, we can classify him as a super player. What he did today was impeccable, says Hussein9996. Yeah, I'm extremely impressed, because the pressure was on Lobotka. I mean, Spalletti put him on at halftime. That basically says, listen, man, here are the keys to the midfield, because what's going on right now isn't working. We need you to change that. It's not just like, oh, you're starting, right? It's, no, I believe in you to change the game. And Lobotka then had to deliver, and he did, right? And he didn't have 90 minutes to do it like he usually does. He only had 45 this time. Mateus David says, can you reply to my comment above? Let me see. I haven't watched games, sadly. How did Kvaratskhelia do? Can you give me a little info about that? Yeah, it's coming. We'll talk about Kvicha. He had an amazing game in the first half. As I was saying a bit earlier, very good dribbles, very good shots on goal. But the keeper was, I think, the man of the match. He made some really good saves. And I think Kvara had some better games. But it was difficult against Spezia because there was so many players back defending. But he did very well. And it's also more difficult for him to play when Raspadori is on the field, because when Osimhen plays, Kvara can maybe cross the ball and Osimhen can go for a header. When Raspadori plays, that option is not there. So he needs to find different ways to link up with Raspadori. And I think the chemistry still needs to be worked out. But he did well. Mateus David says, anywhere free where I can watch the full game. Guys, don't ask me those kind of questions on the live, because technically you can't do it. Yeah, don't ask me on the live. Read between the lines what I'm trying to say. Don't ask me during the live. You can ask me somewhere else. I'm just kidding. Don't ask me. Wink. Paulio says, I feel like Ndombele should not play with Anguissa. He should be the replacement for Zambo. Maybe. And actually, I think I agree with you. I think Ndombele is not the type of player that you want setting the tempo, because right now he doesn't have the tempo, which is why I don't like him in Lobotka's position now. But in Anguissa's position, you have to do even more running, actually. I just think he's not fit at the moment, guys. I just feel like he's not fit, and I'll give him another 2 weeks, but I didn't like him today. Yo, what's with Kvara being subbed off? I understand it's low priority game, but come on, is it not worth it? Says DFGK. Guys, there's a lot of games, as you said, also in your. It's a I wouldn't say it's a low priority game, but there's a lot of games, and there is higher priority games, and we want Kvaratskhelia to be fit. And also, I think that in the end of the day, Spalletti, whether you agree with Kvaratskhelia coming off or not, at the end of the day, when you do get the win, then it was always the right choice, right? Because if maybe he would have substituted off Raspadori and kept Kvaratskhelia, maybe we would have still finished 0-0 instead of 1-0. We don't know, but I think everyone will have the chance to play. And actually, I was surprised that Kvaratskhelia even started today. I thought he would be on the bench after the Liverpool game and the fact that we have we have another Champions League game afterwards. So yeah, that was a little surprising. Anyways, let's go on with the analysis of the game. So, I mean, here's an example of Kvaratskhelia doing something incredible. The defenders just had nowhere to go. He was zigzagging. They didn't know where he was going. He was zigzagging, and it was good to see. It was fun to see. I love seeing Kvaratskhelia, but it's also true that we can't keep him on 90 minutes every time, guys. What I really liked today was also Juan Jesus. Juan Jesus, he doesn't play very often, you know. He plays maybe once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and it's tough for a player to play once every 3 weeks, but when he does play, he always shows that he's physically fit, right? Today, he had a very good striker up against him, a physical, fast striker, and he kept him quiet, right? And this was a very good example where he followed him for over maybe 20 meters and won the ball. Again, here, there's another example, 40 minutes into the first half, and Anguissa is tracking back. The defenders are there. Politano is trying to help track back. Where is my man Ndombele? Why is he not anywhere in this screenshot? I just do not understand. But yeah, I'll say it's about fitness for now rather than motivation. What I really did like, though, in the second half was that we upped the tempo. Now, whether that's because Lobotka came on or because Spalletti gave, a shouting at these players, but we started playing some nice passes a lot more. This was a nice little thing between Elmas, Raspadori, and Anguissa. The keeper made a good save. Lobotka was instrumental. For example, this for me is a great pass because he takes the ball from a completely different area of the field, runs with it, dribbles it, attracts two players, right? Because he's got the ball, because he's got such good movement, he attracts two players. That leaves Zielinski free, and Zielinski then shoots, and again, Dragowski saves it. But this only is possible because of the way that Lobotka plays, the way he weaves in and out, the way that he attracts players around him. And again, yeah, good save by Spezia. What I found interesting that I just noticed actually today in today's game is Kvara's position at the edge of the box. So Kvara is a very good header of the ball, and yet he doesn't stay in the box during corners because actually he is the guy that you want if the ball goes to the edge of the box, because he can score, he can shoot, or he can cross the ball very accurately, and he's got good technique, he's got good vision, and in fact, this was one of our chances where the ball did go to Kvara. Kvara, however, this time passed it to Mario Rui. Mario Rui crossed it, and Elmas made a run and headed the ball over, which is not a usual thing for Elmas to do, to get a header, but you know, he stayed involved in the game. This was really Spezia's most dangerous moment, and it was almost a colossal screw up between Meret and Mario Rui. Mario Rui didn't put enough speed on the ball, so the ball went short. Spezia player came from behind and beat Meret to it. I think Meret is in a good position. If he comes any closer, there's a risk that the ball goes over his head, and he's not like on the line either, right? He's in a good halfway point, so I really think that Mario Rui should have done a better job. But yeah, as I said, he gets the better of Mario Rui and Alex Meret, and thankfully Rahmani is there to clear off the line, because this was easily a 1-0 for Spezia. And then we get to some other key passes by Lobotka. First, he takes the ball, goes one way, then changes direction. He opens himself up 3 yards of space. That's a lot of space that opens up for Lobotka that he made for himself, okay, by turning around. And then he crosses it to Lozano, and Lozano misses. I don't know if Gaetano there is part of the reason why Lozano misses. I think yes. I think if you look at the screenshot, you've got Lozano's header and Gaetano's foot very, very close to each other. And I think Lozano kind of pulled back, and that's why maybe he didn't hit the ball with the same intensity that maybe he needed to direct it into the goal, and that's why he missed. So I want to be easy on Lozano because of this, right? Because Gaetano was there. Then there was this other chance where there was a cross. Dragowski made his only mistake, where he came out, missed the ball, and it landed on Lozano's feet, and Lozano missed. But there was, I think, very little reaction time there, so I'm not going to blame Lozano there either. Daniel Peters is saying Lozano didn't touch this. So was it Gaetano or Lozano? I thought it was Lozano with the header. Either way, guys, I think the two players like just, you know, didn't communicate, or they distracted each other. Something happened, right? We're getting towards the Napoli goal now. Guys, there's 133 of you, but half the amount of likes. So there's half of you that like me, and I guess the other half really hate me, which is a shame. Guys. Disgraceful. I'm kidding, guys. Only like it if you're having fun. That's the rule. Lobotka here, guys. Lobotka, another instrumental piece of the game, right? He collects the ball, as always, goes one way, then changes direction, opens up some space for himself, and that's when he's able to raise his head up, play a pass towards Lozano. And Lozano actually does pretty well to dribble past or to, you know, go down the flank, get a cross in. It goes to Gaetano. Gaetano misses it. I think Gaetano touches it. So maybe it's an assist for Gaetano. And then Raspadori comes in from behind and scores. But look at Giovanni Simeone in there as well. Giovanni Simeone is occupying everybody's attention in the middle, right? You've got two Spezia defenders on Giovanni Simeone. You've got also the Spezia right back who's looking at Simeone and not at where Raspadori is, right? And then Raspadori is able to come in from the back, and that's the ideal position for Raspadori. It's not really left wing, or it can be left wing. It's kind of a mix between left wing and the number 10, right? But you can be in that position whether you start from a number 10 or from left wing, but it's just a matter of being someone that comes in from the edge of the box, right? That's, I think, where we got to play Raspadori, because that's what he's good at. But to do that, you need a number 9 that distracts a defender. That could be Osimhen, that could be Simeone, but I don't like Raspadori as a pure number 9. And yeah, and then that's it, guys. That's it. That's the analysis of the game. I'm gonna go and show you my player ratings, and I'm gonna see some of the new comments. Let's see some of the new comments. Striking 3 Vin says that we have a lot of important games, which is why maybe Kvara got subbed off. SJ says crucial for us to not drop points today. I think Ndombele has to play in Zielinski's position and be encouraged to carry the ball and attack because he is so lazy. Yeah, it goes similar to what someone else was saying, that he needs to play in Anguissa's position. Lobo is a master in pressing, avoiding, says Holden Caulfield. Yeah, he is the best since Iniesta. Maybe Thiago in Liverpool. And I know you guys will say we beat Liverpool, but Thiago wasn't really playing and he had just come back from injury. But Thiago has been doing it for 10 years. His little feints. Busquets also is quite good at that. But yeah, he's definitely in the top 10 of recent years for sure. Maybe top 5. Anthony G says, wouldn't be surprised if this is Elmas last year with Napoli if he can't turn it on. Not sure what his contract situation is like though. Yeah, I'm not sure his contract situation, but I do feel that if Elmas does not become a decisive player now in this season, then he is definitely on the market. I mean, he was about to be sold to, I think it was Leeds maybe towards the end of the season, or towards the end of the Mercato. Maybe even Milan wanted him. And Napoli was like, okay, no. But if he doesn't improve, Napoli will be like, okay, yeah, go ahead. All right? Because it's... At some point, you just got to give up, you know. After 3-4 years, you can't hope that at some point he'll do it, you know. He should have done it by now. I was making breakfast, Dom, but drank my cafe and hit the like, says Rafael Cervantes. Awesome. I like that, guys. And what a nice way to start your weekend when Napoli wins. You didn't even have to wake up too early to see the final goal because it was in the 90th minute. You're having breakfast, you're watching Napoli talk, hitting the like button, feeling good about yourself. That's more things accomplished than a lot of people will do this whole weekend. And you're just at breakfast. Sufus Koba says, any informations on whether the Rangers game may be getting postponed due to the death of Her Royal Majesty the Queen? I don't know. Let's go to that. Before I talk about formations, let's go to that. I mean, we played the last 2 games. Rangers, Napoli, I've put a big exclamation point on there because I don't know. The UK is currently mourning the Queen, and football games in the Premier League have been suspended this weekend. I'm not sure what happens to the Champions League games. No idea, guys. I'm sorry I can't give you more information. I'm sorry for anyone who might have been traveling there and has tickets. I really don't know. But for sure we're playing Milan next Sunday. And then there's a break, right? This is why I haven't put the next games on after the break, only in Torino, because it's too far down the line. But yeah, 2 games to go, potentially only just 1 until the break. Very important games. These could define Napoli's season. If we win both games, it's sort of downhill from now. Well, not downhill, but we're in the right track in terms of getting out of the group stage. And if we win against Milan, it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to fight for the title because 7 games will probably be either first or second if we do beat Milan at that point. So you can't really say you're not fighting for the title after, 7 games, right? I know it's early to say if you're a favorite, but at least you're in the conversation at that point. But let's go back to the formation, guys. Let's go back to the formation. So, some of you will be a little surprised to see Raspadori only get a 6.5 and he got a match-winning goal. And I think it's because actually until the goal for 89 minutes, he was quite bad. And I had to change him from a 5.5 to a 6.5 at the last minute. So, I mean, 1 goal is not really gonna do it for me, right? After you've not really done much the whole game. But, you pass, 6.5. I thought Kvara was really good, and he made things happen, and I think he was unlucky not to have scored. So I'm going to give him a 7. And I just like the fact that we all tune in to watch football because it's fun, because we like to have fun, and Kvaratskhelia makes it fun. So that's like an extra 0.5 points. Double Meg in the same within 5 seconds. Yeah, of course you're gonna get a 7, no matter what. Let's talk about the 5.5s. Elmas, Politano, and Ndombele. I think these are all players that today needed to do more. They didn't convince me. They weren't. I don't know. And Raspadori was going to be a 5.5 up until the very last minute. Mario Rui instead 5.5 because he nearly cost us the game. The defenders were really good, so 7 and a 7.5 for them. Rahmani, that little 0.5 extra because of the clearance on the goal line. And Meret, I think he had a good game. He had some good saves, and it wasn't his fault, the whole Mario Rui incident. Anguissa and Di Lorenzo, the 6 is average. I think they had an incredible game against Liverpool, and also the game before. And I think today they were just like, they had to recover. There's a really good question from the Napoli rant, which says, was Raspadori worth the money? I don't think you can answer that at this point in time. Guys, football players are a bit like an investment, all right? Now, the problem is that a lot of people see football players as if they are traders, not investors. What's the difference? When you're trading, you look at the value of, let's say, a stock going up or down, and you only care about it for the next day or so. So if it goes down 2% tomorrow, you're like, oh, damn, because I only want to hold this stock for like 2 days, right? If you are an investor, then you buy a stock and you keep it your plan is to keep it for the next 3 or 4 years. You don't really care if tomorrow it goes down by 2% or 5% or 10% because he's got 3 years to recover that, right? Football players are investments. You can't judge them whether it was worth buying that player for that money after three games that they've played. This is literally Raspadori's like 3rd game. So to say whether he was worth the money, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, he has the potential to score 20 goals this season. We don't know. It's literally the 5th game of the season or 6th game of the season. So no idea whether he's worth it. This is something that we can start to only answer really after the first year and a half, guys. It's like, even with Ndombele, I'm not saying it wasn't worth getting Ndombele. Maybe it will be. Maybe he'll have a fantastic second half of the season. I'm just saying at this moment in time, Ndombele is not performing for us. But I'm not here to judge a player's acquisition, an investment on a player after 5 games. So yeah, that's my answer to that question, to be honest. And I think, unlike other players, Raspadori is young. So he's got all the time in the world to improve, and for sure he will improve. Manad is saying, Rahmani, man of the match. I agree. Yep. I mean, he saved us, right? If he wasn't there, it would have literally been 1-0 Spezia, and then we would have had to recover from a losing position, and I don't think we would have scored once it would have been 1-0 Spezia. Lusty OG says Napoli stonks. Payman Dadgar saying, Dom, good thoughts on Raspadori, but when you look at investments, you look at the opportunity cost. Raspadori cost us Deulofeu, and Ndombele was 1 million, so it's different. That's true. I do actually, I 100% agree with you there. I would have preferred Deulofeu. 100%. We did invest a lot of money on, I think, what was not our best option. So that's true. But as I said, that's considering Deulofeu now versus Raspadori now. But maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, in 6 months' time, Raspadori will be on the same level as Deulofeu, and because he's younger, we'd be able to make use of that for many more years than we would have with Deulofeu, who's maybe already at his peak and then is going to go down in a few months, right? But again, it's one of those things that even when you look at opportunity cost, you don't really know the full picture until you look back, right? Because we don't know how Raspadori is going to improve. This is not like this is him for the remaining of forever. Like, things will evolve. Let's see some more. Oh, we've got the Raf and Raf with a $5 donation saying keep up the good work. Thanks, guys. It does mean a lot from the Raf and Raf, who are also in the space. So thanks, guys. And you too, keep up the amazing work on Mondays. Tamo saying Raspadori is miles ahead in terms of Deulofeu, 22 years and 28 years. Let's just say Raspadori has more I feel like with Deulofeu, we know what we're going to get from him, and it's going to be a very high level. The only thing we don't know with Deulofeu is for how long he's going to keep that level. Is it going to be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? With Raspadori, we don't even know what we're going to get. He could maybe be a flop, or he could be on Deulofeu's level, or he could be more than Deulofeu. But yeah, we don't know. That's why I don't want to judge now. I don't even want to judge the investment cost, the opportunity cost now. I just don't know. On what universe does Lozano get a 6.5 for just a cross that happened to end in goal? Says humans are weird. As I said, I think that the chances that Lozano missed were not entirely his fault. For example, the one with the corner, he saw that on the last second. Anyone who plays football knows that you don't always have the time to react to those kind of things. And then the one that he missed with the header, there was Gaetano, which had a leg all the way up in the air, which distracted him. So I wouldn't count those against him, to be fair. And you guys know that I'm super critical of Lozano all the time. I mean, I'm Mexico's most wanted man. And it takes a lot to be Mexico's most wanted man, but here I am. I am Mexico's most wanted man because of how much I criticize Lozano. And yet today, I feel like those two misses were not his fault. I'll be honest. You know, I have no personal grudge on players. If I feel like it wasn't his fault, I'll say it's not his fault. And on the contrary, when he came on, he made the decisive cross for the game. So that's why I feel like he gets the same score as Raspadori. You know, if Raspadori gets a 6.5 for that goal, I also feel like Lozano, even though before that they were both sort of average, you know. They're saying Victor is out for a month, says Run for Fun. Yeah, that would be a bit of a problem, but actually we would only miss him. Okay, today, Rangers, which I think we should have the team to beat Rangers, and then Milan. Okay, Milan's going to be a problem. After that, there's a break, and we don't start until October, so maybe he might miss Torino, maybe also one game after that, but it's not huge. But thank God we have a break, right? We've got 2 weeks where we don't play, where he doesn't get, you know, maybe potentially injured with the national team, as that would cause like a huge controversy. So yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. With Osimhen, I'm just used to like seeing him gone for like 3 months, you know, with the whole shoulder and COVID and head injuries. 1 month just seems like I'm getting a good deal out of it, you know. So I'm not saying I'm happy, but I just feel like I'm not getting ripped off. On the Champions League fixture, Napoli should force Rangers to host outside of Scotland. Celtic is picking up a home match in Turkey. What? That's kind of crazy. I don't think that will happen. I mean, and I hope that doesn't happen, guys. I'd rather the game get postponed and the Rangers fans have an opportunity to watch their team play than have them play in like Cyprus or something, and then it's like, well, actually the Rangers fans would love Cyprus. They love going over there. The Brits love going to Cyprus and Malta and all these places, so maybe they'd actually push for that too. So let's see, guys. Simeone has to start against Milan if Osimhen is out. Yeah, let Simeone cook, says the Napoli rant. I agree. Let him cook. Let him show. Let him get some minutes, right? He came on against Liverpool and he scored. Maybe he's got the magic touch, you know. He's one of those also that needs to work on his fitness, and I feel like to work on your fitness, you gotta play the guy. You gotta let him experience the game because you only get match fit by playing matches. You can train, but it's not the same intensity as a match. Now, it's questionable when a coach does it when the other guys that he's coming on to replace are fit. You know, like for example with Ndombele, like why are you putting Ndombele when Lobotka's fit? Why are you taking that risk? But in this case, it's a perfect opportunity to play Simeone, get him the minutes, and no one can say anything about it if he plays badly. Like no one can say, "Oh, you messed up, you didn't play Osimhen." It's like, no, I literally cannot play Osimhen because Osimhen is injured, right? So it's a great win-win for Spalletti. He gets Simeone's fitness up, and no one can blame him if Simeone plays badly. So it'd be a serious win-win, and I'm surprised actually he didn't play today, but I do feel like it's because he wants to play him against Rangers and Milan. So he gave him a bit of a rest today because he also played 45 minutes against Liverpool. With Rangers, the problem won't be if they're allowed to play, as games can go ahead. The problem is they're very pro-monarchy, so if any club wants to cancel, it would be them. They shouldn't, though. Yeah, Rangers is super pro-monarchy, and then Celtic is kind of against it. So that's the situation in Scotland. Question: how do we survive if Lobotka that gets injured? Answer: we don't. We don't survive. He's so important, guys. He's so important. Guys, final bit of the stream, but actually no, there's two more bits. This one and then one final bit. But guys, make sure you are smashing that like button, guys. Let me see how we're doing. 65, guys, it's not enough. That's not enough. 109 likes, and there's 150 of you. So the guys that are not smashing that like button, you're in the minority. And it's cool to be a minority. Super cool. I love minorities. Not in this case. Not cool to be a minority when it's about smashing like buttons. You want to be like everybody else, smashing the like button, all right? Nice. I see already some of you have started to smash that like button. I'm starting to get really creative with how to tell you guys to smash that like button. It takes a lot of effort. I'm just going to say, just smash it, you know? And then stop trying to think too much on my head, because it is tiring. But guys, look at that. 28 shots versus Spezia's 10 with one shot on target, which came from a Mario Rui / Meret mess up. But us 6 shots on target from 28. Using my quick maths, that's less than 20%, you know? Or a little more than 20%. It's like 22% on target. That's not good enough, guys. We can't be doing 4 shots and then getting one shot on target. That's not enough. We won't always be up against a team like Spezia that will allow us 28 shots. Most teams will only allow you, let's say, 12 shots, right? And if your accuracy is, I get 20% on target, then you're going to have 2 shots on target if they only allow you 12. And that means that in those 2 shots on target, you got a score, which is maybe not enough, right? So we've got to improve our accuracy. And this ratio here is a bit of an indication of that. But also, I just want to also take a look at the passes, which the total number of passes increased a lot between the first half and second half, and that's because Lobotka was playing, because he made the ball run faster, right? So we were getting more passes in, we were shifting Spezia around more, which means we were creating more spaces, right? And ultimately he helped us get a goal. So again, I want to point out Lobotka's importance for the team. And I mean, he was my man of the match with an 8 out of 10 performance. I didn't even talk about it when I showed the formation, but I mean, it goes without saying that he's got man of the match written all over that performance. Passing accuracy is pretty good. Yellow cards, 1. And yeah, I mean, 10 corners. And that's the table right now, with us in first until obviously Milan have a chance to catch up. Atalanta have a chance to go past us if they win. And the surprise two teams in the top 6 are Udinese and Torino. Udinese obviously with De Rufeu, and Torino with Ivan Juric in this season actually doing quite well. But curious to see who Atalanta play against. They play Cremonese, and then they've got a few tough games. Look at that: Roma, Atalanta, after Cremonese, then Atalanta, Fiorentina, then Udinese, Atalanta. That's tough. So that's that. Let's see who Milan have. Milan have Samp, which is kind of easy, and then they've got us. Right. So it's gonna be a nice game next weekend. It's gonna be nice. They've got Dinamo Zagreb up next, who actually got a win against Chelsea, so that's maybe not so easy, and they actually have to put in their best team against Dinamo Zagreb, because if Dinamo Zagreb get a draw or a win even, then that could be serious competition for that second spot in the group for them, right? Because sure Chelsea will catch up. But Dinamo Zagreb would be on more than 3 points if they manage to steal something from Milan. So Milan have to do everything in their power to play a strong team, which is good for us, because obviously we play against them next Sunday. Lobotka, you can really tell, wants to win. Every time he's on the ball, he tries to move forward and not lose possession. Yeah. All right, guys. I know that Spalletti put a post-match review, or has a post-match analysis that he likes to do. So I'm gonna go and find it. All right, and then I'm gonna tell you what he said, and then that's gonna be it. So 5 more minutes, and then you guys can go off and play. So let's see. I'm gonna go and translate. So obviously Spalletti got red carded towards the end after the goal, and he talks about that. He said, "I protested several times about the fact that the other team was doing a lot of fouls, that they were time wasting. It happened a lot of times, and the ref is saying that he couldn't do more than just give a foul. But in certain situations, I thought he could have given them a yellow card. After our goal, I went to protest for the amount of minutes that he put as added time. But I didn't insult anybody, and the ref was, just give him a second yellow and a red card for protesting." They said today, they asked him, "Today there was a great support from the public," and he said, "Yes, the passion for these colors is always around us. They even bring it to you all the way home. This is a very nice thing for whoever plays in Napoli. In other places, it's not like this, and this is very nice for us. But the game was very difficult. We had different opportunities. Lozano had a few, but also Kvara had 1 or 2. This becomes very difficult, and the more time that passes by, the harder it gets, and you need a bit of skill a little skill and a lot of determination to keep going until the very end. But these attitudes were awarded, because guys, there's always, I think, there's two main factors, I think, when it comes to whether you're going to win a game, or 3 factors. One is luck. One is skill. So luck is, are you more lucky than the other team? Skill is, are you better than the other team? And then put 2 big brackets around it and multiply that by attitude. If your attitude is 0, you can have luck, you can have skill, but you're not going to get anywhere. If your attitude is very high, even if for that day your skill is slightly less or your luck is slightly less, and today our luck was slightly less, because you've got such a high multiplying factor, because your attitude is so high, then you've got a chance to really win the game, right? And oftentimes when your attitude is high, that results in last minute goals and all that sort of stuff. And that's how I kind of see football, and how I and why I think it's so important to have attitude, right? And this team has shown it, and I hope that they keep this up, because the one thing that I think has been missing from Napoli in recent years has been attitude, where we bottle games, our mentality is off against the weaker teams, and that's also, again, because you can have skill, but when you multiply it by attitude, if your attitude is zero, then everything else goes to zero. We are Ludin says, man, Spalletti got a red card. How I missed it? Yeah, he got a red card when he protested after we scored because of the amount of added minutes that the ref added, and the ref was like, "Oh, you've been complaining all game." Let's see what else he says. They ask him about why he put Raspadori instead of Simeone, and he said Simeone. How many minutes did he play? Half an hour was enough to see that he has enthusiasm. Actually, it was the ideal situation to have him come on in the second half. The whole idea of passing the ball around would have, made him a bit lost, and we wanted to keep that physical aspect, the physicality. We wanted to keep that for the second half. So Spalletti clearly has had reason to do that. He wanted the physicality to come up in the second half, and in the first half, he just wanted the ball to be moved around a lot, and Raspadori is better at that. Right, a few more. Let's see what else he says. No, let's just keep it like that. I think we got the gist of the main points of today's game, the main points of what Spalletti wants us to learn about this team. So very good 3 points, guys. Very good win. Well, not a very good win, but a very nice win in terms of the result. And things seem to be going in the right direction, and it's exciting. But I just want to say to everyone, stay humble. Let's just consider this as 3 points. Let's not try to read too much into the season, and let's keep those thoughts until after the Milan game. After the Milan game, I promise you, we'll dive deeper into the other teams that could be fighting for the title, how we rank compared to them, all this sort of stuff, right? But for now, let's just consider this as 3 points, and that's it. Anyways, guys, it's been such a pleasure. I hope you have a great weekend, and as always, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.